What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here with my unscripted bro tonight, Bill Apter.
This is Vince Russo doing his imitation of Bill Apter, bro.
Oh wow! I mean, you look a lot different tonight, Vince.
Good to be here. Good to be here on Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
I was there the first time ever.
Say that again.
When I was there at the Manhattan Center when they did Monday Night Raw way back at the beginning, and we were barred. All the magazines back then were barred from covering press. So I sat upstairs, and I had the photography guy with me with a long lens, and I remember seeing Vince McMahon just looking up and seeing me and just kind of like burning. How the hell did they get in here?
Well, too bad, Vince. They got in there. So that was back in the day in the Manhattan Center where they used to have the big old ICO Pro sign on there.
Oh yeah.
Remember ICO Pro?
Yeah. You go pro, I go pro, we all go pro.
We all go pro, man. Yeah. Speaking of pro, man, you had a big weekend this past weekend. Let the listeners know, man, about your one-man show that was a box office hit, ladies and gentlemen.
It was sold out. Even Randy Orton knew about it when I got to see him on Saturday. It was the SICW, Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, which I've renamed it Spectacular Independent Championship Wrestling. It was
Fantastic.
That good. And Friday night, I opened the festivities with my one-man show. Medusa came up, Teddy Long came up, Tony Gurria was in the audience, Brian Blair. Yeah, we did an exercise of, we had everybody in the audience, several hundred people stand up and do the Teddy. It was very cool.
Very nice.
It was very cool. Teddy was very animated and terrific with it. And then Medusa came up and told the story of the first time Vern Gagne had her take me out on a trip in Minneapolis when I went there for the first time, and he said she would take me out to a hot bar, and she took me to a gay bar. It's in my book.
Okay.
Is Wrestling Fixed?
I didn't know it was broken.
Right, story in my book. But Saturday was the Fan Fest, but the best part was the Hall of Fame induction. Wendy Richter was inducted, Judy Martin, Leilani Kai. They weren't there. Wendy was there. Several other people. And the big one, though, was Cowboy Bob Orton with no cast on his arm.
Ooh.
And his son Randy, and his other son, Nathan, who's a stand-up comedian, came into the ring as part of the induction. And the best line, he was talking about why he's not as hyped up or vicious or whatever, and he said that his father had lost probably some quality sperm, at that point, which is why he's not like Randy. But guy was very, very funny. Randy's sister was there. She's a nurse, absolutely gorgeous. Randy's wife, Kim, and I found out that we grew up about 20 minutes away from each other in Queens. She in Ozone Park, me in Maspeth, or in Maspit, as they used to call it there. And his children were there. It was wonderful. And again, I got to do about a 30-minute interview with Randy and his dad that should be on Sportskeeda, possibly this coming Wednesday on the After Chat on Wrestle Binge.
Wonderful. Glad you had a great time, my man. You deserve it. Clap.
Well, thank you. It was a wonderful weekend. I want to thank all the fans that came out to see my show and supported SICW. Yeah, it was wrestling and Fan Fest and my show in the Raw.
Very nice. Of course, we got the super chats rolling in, and we will go ahead and address them in just a moment.
Wait a minute, you said rolling in. Isn't Roland one of our?
Oh, he's one of our committed super chatters. I'm sure he'll be super chatting today. He's one of our most loyal fans of Sportskeeda. Definitely appreciate.
How do people get into the super chat, Dr. Chris, if they're tuning in for the first time?
Yeah, so there's just as soon as if you're watching it, there's an option to give, and then you just push it. You just push it, and you put the amount, you put your question there, and then we'll be able to highlight it on the screen. So if you,
what did you do with the $1,200 that guy Michael sent in last week?
I can't tell you on air.
Okay, because the part you sent me, I was able to afford my Fruit Adventure Tic Tacs.
Yes.
Thank you.
This goes to show how much I sent you. Unless the Tic Tacs were very expensive.
Now Vince will be, from what I understand, he will be taking my place tomorrow.
Yes, he'll be here tomorrow.
On Unscripted.
Yes, Unscripted. Yes, indeed. You are swapping this week. Indeed. Yeah. All right, so let's get to these super chats. Let's start with David Duffett, $2 super chat, bro. Adam Pierce brings in Haku. Bron will be broken. Ooh. Bron Breakker versus King Haku. Speaking of kings, King Haku. King Haku. Haku.
I was with him over the weekend. I did an interview with him about his sons.
Yeah, the Dark Side of the Ring, when he was on there, when he was like legit like belly laughing when he saw the oh gosh, what's the guy's name? Shockmaster bit for the first time.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. He was like legit belly laughing. It was the first time he ever saw the Shockmaster promo segment, and he legit belly laughed. I'm
going to give you a scoop.
Go ahead.
About Haku. And this will be on my interview with Haku, but he didn't know that his sons were going to be on part of the bloodline until he saw them on TV. They kayfabed their father.
Wow. He got worked.
Yeah.
He got worked by his own.
They were told not to say anything, and they didn't.
Yeah. Well, good for them, man. Good for them. Kayfabe still exists. It should. I mean, it should. What do you think about that?
What was his question? What was his question?
It wasn't a question. He just wanted to donate. So along those lines, Bill, let me ask you this. Kayfabe. Kayfabe was the bread and butter of professional wrestling for so long, man. One, do you think kayfabe still exists? And two, since it doesn't exist, I mean, if the answer is no, what areas do you think kayfabe needs to improve?
All right. Let's start at the beginning of this. What is kayfabe to you? What does it mean to you?
For me?
Yeah, what does it mean? What is your definition of what is kayfabe? Because most people, even people in the business, don't know what it was back in the day.
Kayfabe is characters being characters in and out, man. As much as possible and work in the business.
No. Here's what kayfabe was when I started in the business. Mm-hmm. If someone walked into a dressing room and a good guy and a bad guy, a babyface and heel, were seen together and talking, and this guy who walked into the dressing room wasn't someone who was in the know, somebody would say kayfabe, and then the bad guy or the good guy would say, oh, yeah, well, screw you, you be like that, and they'd walk out of there. It meant there was a stranger around and watch what you talk. That's what it meant.
It was a stranger around and watch how you talk is what you said?
Watch, be careful, because the person's not in the business. The business was protected at that point. You would kayfabe people when somebody would say to you, oh, come on, did he really break the guy's leg? And even if he didn't, if you said, no, it didn't really happen, you broke kayfabe. And the companies had shooters who would actually hurt you if you broke kayfabe. Yes. So this
how is that different than what I said?
Well, character. It was very, very secretive. It wasn't about breaking character more than it was about there's a stranger around who's not in the business. Kayfabe was the word that protected the business. Now, this came from the carnival days when people would be in the carnies and they keep their secrets to themselves. If a stranger would walk into something with the circus that they were doing an illusion or something, and they were showing somebody how to do it, they'd go kayfabe. That's where it came from originally. So it's nothing to do with character. It's about you don't belong here. That's a secret word only used in the business. Now, the internet got a hold of it, and everybody would say, well, Bill Apter used to write kayfabe stories. Made no sense. There weren't kayfabe stories. There were storylines back when we did the magazines. People now call it clickbait. We were print bait back then, but they weren't kayfabe stories. That's not what kayfabe was. And it's now taken on so many different. Hey, Bill, we love those kayfabe stories you wrote. Was Brandy a kayfabe writer? And it's not what it meant.
So, from what I'm understanding, you just said it's basically it's someone coming in, and the two wrestlers had to protect the business.
Yeah, not two wrestlers. It could be everyone.
Or just whoever.
Wait. Let me tell you something. Hold on before you go on.
Yep.
All right. I walked into a dressing room one time in Charlotte, North Carolina, one of my earliest trips to the Jim Crockett promotions. I walked into the good guys dressing room, and there was referee Tommy Young, Blackjack Mulligan, and about 12 other wrestlers, and there were baby faces and heels in there. And somebody yells at somebody who didn't know me, yelled out, "Kayfabe." And Tommy Young turned around to the guy and he says, "Kayfabe him? We should kayfabe you." I didn't know what kayfabe meant. Tommy and I went out of the dressing room just to go out to the arena. I said, "What does that mean?" And that's when he told me. He said, when a stranger walks into the business, into the dressing room, we have to keep the illusion, and kayfabe is the secret word.
So what do you mean keep the illusion?
Keep the illusion that professional wrestling is real.
So how do we know it's real? Like if someone walks in a locker room with faces and heels in the same locker room, and someone yells kayfabe, how do they change? Like, how do they?
Well, today that doesn't happen.
I'm saying back when you were like how.
Well, everybody would just kind of scatter and make like they were just
right. They have to stay in character, right?
I don't know if it was in character. I know what you're trying to prove. You're trying to prove you're not wrong here, and if you want to keep it that way, that's
no. I'm just getting an understanding. So if they scattered, right?
They scattered, meaning there's someone in the business. It's not whether they're staying in character or not. There's a stranger in the business. Just don't.
I think it's splitting hairs, my man. You're the legend, so you would know.
Wait, splitting hairs. They're already split.
Splitting hairs, yes. Yes. I think we're saying the same thing on two different sides of the coin.
I don't, but it's okay.
But you're the kayfabe legend.
There you go again. Do you know that Gorilla Monsoon's license plate said KAY space FABE, like it was a name, Kayfabe.
Very nice. Yeah. That's fantastic.
But that's what it really meant. It really meant there's an outsider. Just don't talk business. There's an outsider here. That's putting it into another.
That's okay.
Into another box.
Gotcha. Yeah. So staying in the business, like if someone walks in, don't let them know that we're friends. Like stay.
Don't let them know we're friends. Don't talk about our matches.
Okay.
Gotcha. This is an outsider. He doesn't belong. Also means he doesn't belong in here. Get rid of him. Because when in my early days, when I'd walk in there and they'd say kayfabe, somebody would come over, put his arm around me very nicely, one of the baby faces of the heels, and say, "Hey, let me talk to you outside." And then he'd take me out to the hallway and says, "Hey, listen, I got to go to a meeting. Just hang out here." And I knew right away they didn't want me in there because they were talking business.
Very nice. Very nice.
Maybe I would tell somebody. Maybe I would tell somebody that I saw Blackjack Mulligan in the same dressing room as Ricky Steamboat when they were feuding.
How dare you, Bill? You're breaking kayfabe.
And now these days, when we talk about it with those wrestlers, and I bring that up, we break bread. We sit down and talk about it.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for your 101, Bill. Always a pleasure sitting under the learning tree.
I didn't know we were
Forget Chris Jericho, the real learning tree. This guy right here, Bill Apter, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed. All right, let's go to Zoo Bear. $2. We need Apter. Chris and Russo as trio hosts for LOR. I think haven't we done a trio before?
I can't talk about that with my wife in the other next room.
I
got it. Okay. All
come
right.
on. I wasn't a part of that. Whatever trio you're thinking of, I got Kayfabe.
Yeah. That's Kayfabe. I think we did it once or twice, maybe a while, but I really love doing this. Hey, listen, I've got, where is it? I got, my contract here. So, if we can work out that contract.
Yeah.
What the heck, bro?
Indeed.
You know what would be difficult for me, though?
What would that be?
And I'm going to be very honest with you here. I love Vince. I love Vince Russo. I think he's great. He's talented. He's honest. He goes out of his way to tear things apart. And a lot of times it comes across that everybody's wrong all the time. He would have done it that way. I'm the other way around. I like almost everything.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful, man.
That's not a knock on what he does. He draws big numbers because people like to hear he and you very opinionated.
Yes.
Legion of Raw.
They do. Yeah, we got a wonderful crowd. But thank you for that kayfabe lesson, man. That was great. It's great to know that. Great to know the true meaning of kayfabe according to the living legend himself.
That's him.
Larry Zbyszko. Or Bruno. Is Bruno back there? Is that Bruno?
Yeah. Do you see him? He's right there. Doggone it.
Yeah. I thought Larry Zbyszko was the living legend.
No. He's a self-proclaimed living legend.
Yes, indeed.
I do my Bruno imitation for you.
You have, but look, you and I, we were roommates for a weekend. I heard probably every imitation last year when we were roommates.
Yeah, but the Legion of Raw people might not have heard it. Ask me why I hate a particular wrestler.
Bruno, why do you hate the particular wrestler?
No, put in the name of that particular wrestler.
Why do you hate Chief J Strongbow, Bruno?
This guy, this Strongbow guy, he started off to be my friend, and then doggone it, he attacked me one day right behind my back, and McMahon said to me, Bruno, I want you to take this guy out. So I took him to the movies.
The king of impressions, wrestling impressions.
Well, Right. So I did a lot in my one-man show.
Wonderful. You got any more coming up before we get into the super chats and the Raw?
Any more imitations?
No. Any more one-man shows?
Oh, nothing booked right now. Working on some for the summer months.
You see that underneath his name, Apter One Wrestling? Follow that man. All things Bill Apter, man. He'll let you know. Hold on.
I've now got 60 people outside my door here.
Oh, they literally followed you.
Every time I go up and down the steps, they're following me.
Is Mike Chioda over there? We're still waiting for him for like a few months ago.
You know who I saw, by the way? You're talking about referees that don't referee anymore. I saw Jack Doan in Illinois.
Yeah, Jack Doan. Very nice guy.
He promised to come on and do an interview one time. Maybe we can get him on.
He's been on Unscripted before.
Unscripted, yeah.
Yeah, he's been on there before. Yeah. Really nice guy, man. I've interviewed him twice. Very guy. Very nice guy. Yeah. Let's see here. We got David back in the building. 54 in July. Read Apter Mags as a teen. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. Now, a lot of people think that I know we're going to be talking about Raw, but if this turns into a Q&A with me for a little while, that's fine too. I owe it. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it became the Apter Mags because I was the guy on TV. I was the face of the magazines. I never owned them. I never wrote all the stories under 20 different names that everybody thinks I did. But Dave Meltzer came up with the term Apter Mags because I was the guy on TV all the time. So thank you. I really appreciate that, David.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
That's what this cost, by the way. That's where the $2 went.
The $2. Very nice.
Tic Tacs.
Bill, it was probably between 1 and 2 in the morning. That's so I was driving for the weekend, and so I was probably 3.5 hours from my house. And so I drove my truck up, picked Bill up in the airport, from the airport last SummerSlam. We were roommates the whole weekend. And it was fun. Bill and I, we're just brothers from another mother, man. We just got
And hopefully we'll be doing it for a SummerSlam.
yeah, round two. We just got along so well and just talked. And Bill just gave me, again, man, he's got stories for days. So you definitely want to go to his one-man show because he gave me story after story. And it was probably between 1 and 2 in the morning. We went to Applebee's, wasn't it? It was
Yes,
very late.
correct.
Yeah. And as we were going to the Airbnb, which is a very nice Airbnb, by the way.
It was.
And he was like, "Man, I gotta get my I gotta get my Tic Tacs."
Yeah, Fruit Adventure.
And we went to a gas station at the wee hours of the morning. So this guy right here, Bill Apter, can get his Tic Tacs.
Thumbtacks? Yes, that was. We were going to have
ready for the hardcore
match in the room.
Yes, indeed.
Kayfabe. Mick Foley was rooming with us.
A hardcore match in the room. That's no innuendo tied to that.
Oh, no. Hey, Jimmy Suzuki, the Japanese photographer, and I, when he first came to this country, and we would get a room together sometimes just to save money. Let's have a match. And he'd start slamming me onto the other. There'd be 2 beds in the room, and he'd say, "Stop! I'm not a wrestler." Stop.
He was practicing, man. He was practicing.
Oh, man.
All right, so let's get into Zoot Bear.
Whoa.
$10. Courtesy Apter, are you aware you were featured on WWE A&E special 2 weeks ago with Flair and Dusty Rivalry? Also met Kurt Angle this past week. Favorite in-person moment with Angle, both y'all.
I did see that, and that was taped a long time ago.
Okay.
That was taped about 4 or 5 years ago. At least my part was I covered the Dusty Flair rivalry from the beginning to the end. And when I did the scouting reports on Jim Crockett's promotions on TBS, the best segment, everybody said, was when Flair was in this chair, I was in this chair, and Dusty came on in the box, and Flair went crazy. So I want to thank you, Zuba Talk TV, baby, if you will, for bringing that up.
All right, your favorite in-person moment with Angle, Bill?
Oh, with Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
There are a lot of them, but probably riding with him to a TV station in Pittsburgh, and I forgot what he forgot, but we had to run back and forth to his house, and then he forgot something else, and we had to go back. So it was crazy, but we made it to the TV station in time. Great guy, great sense of humor. Yes. Oh, it's true.
Yes, indeed. So my in-person moment with Kurt Angle, this was probably 2002, actually. This is when I attended a Raw. I think it was a Raw, maybe. So back in the day when I was in college, I would stay after to the very end. And back in the day, like over 20 years ago, it was 22 years ago. So back in the day when it's definitely not the same now, but back then wrestlers 12:30 in the morning, they would come out and come to their cars, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
or go to the House of Pancakes. Yeah.
There you go. And so they would come out of the arena. And so a friend of mine and I would wait for the wrestlers to come out in order to autograph our tickets. And my hope was to sell it on eBay. But one time, this guy was the nicest guy. He was really Chris Canyon. He autographed one of my tickets.
Oh, I remember him very well.
Super nice guy,
man.
Like he was so just like down to earth. He was so like enamored that he was asked, to give autographs. Just really, really approachable. Very nice guy. And we just got really like determined one day, and my good friend and I, we waited and we saw Kurt Angle go into his car, and this is downtown Columbus, Ohio. And so we're like, oh, there's Angle. So he got in his car and he drove off out of the arena. My friend and I, we were behind him, and we followed him out of the arena and kept honking our horn, and he pulled over. And we stopped him in the downtown street. We got out of our car, and like within 10 seconds behind us was a swarm of police, and was ready to apprehend us, was ready to take us in the car. And Kurt stopped the police car. He stopped the police that was behind us. He was like, no, stop. And I was like, man, just wanted your autograph, and he signed our tickets, and police let us go, and he drove off. Wow, that was 22 years ago, and we've talked several times professionally now. I talked to him a lot, and just a amazing guy, man. Just
one of the dumbest things I ever did. I had forgotten that he and Karen had gotten divorced, and I remember going up to see him in a party at the Hall of Fame many years ago, and I said, "How are you? How's your family? How's Karen?" And he says, "Bill." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot."
Oh, Kayfabe. Another quick Kurt Angle story.
Welcome to the Kayfabe Hour, everybody.
Yes, it did. Very nice.
That's a new show.
Very nice. I like it. Another Kurt Angle story. So my kids, they play No Mercy. I have a Nintendo 64. They have a Nintendo Switch, but they had a 60. I gave them my 64 a few years back. And so they would play No Mercy, and one of my middle child is a big wrestling fan, and he was a big Kurt Angle fan because he would play with Kurt Angle a lot. And so I texted Kurt Angle and had him say a birthday shout out video to my middle child. So on his birthday, I gave him a list of people. I can't say the other wrestlers because I can't reveal that, but one of the wrestlers was Kurt Angle, and he was he lost it. Like, it was a special birthday shout out to my son from Kurt Angle on his birthday. That's so that was really.
By the way, while you were talking, I was just going down the questions, and pizza and sausage. I'm an old man.
What's going on?
Pizza and sausage called me.
What about pizza and sausage?
Wants to know where Russo is. He says, why is this old man on here?
It's those guys.
That's it. I used to love Italian food. I used to love pizza. And my favorite topping was sausage, but that's over.
Yeah. Unless you're paying to have it on the screen, and a few of I peek over there to see what our weekly contributor, our loyalist on the SK Nation, they have some really good conversations.
You don't got to be nasty, guys.
Other than that, yeah, I mean,
Jeez, and girls.
People are miserable, Bill. People are miserable.
If Bruno would have said, "Doggone you, pizza and sausage."
Pizza and sausage. You know what? Let's block them. Let's get them out of here.
Get them out of there. Wait a minute. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Retribution that went on. I'm doing my Howard Cosell.
There you go. All right, let's get into
going, oh, who's Howard Cosell? Anyway,
very nice. Very nice. Bill Apter turning heel right in front of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this what you want, bro? You want the heel side of me?
Yes,
go for it.
Yes, indeed. Michael Postelano, $4.99. Looks like they're grooming Lyra Valkyria to take over for Becky. She's 37 now. I can see her leaving to have another baby. Seth will want a boy.
You know what?
Interesting. Heir apparent to Becky Lynch. What do you think, Bill?
I think probably down the line. I don't know if she's ready for it yet. Her match tonight against Io Sky was okay. It was not as good as I wanted it to be. It seemed that and it's rare I talk like this, but it seems they kind of like got a little mixed up and missed some of the spots. They looked like they were talking a little bit. They weren't sure where they were going with it. I've seen Lyra better. I don't think the two of them were ultra comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
But yes, down the road, either that or she becomes a pain in Becky's butt, and they have a feud.
I didn't follow her on NXT much. I haven't seen much character in her.
She had more in NXT,
More in
in my
NXT?
opinion.
Okay.
But I'm very psyched to see someone that young and that talented. But like I said, tonight, I just didn't think the match fit with the two of them against each other.
What is her character? Who is she?
No, I just see her as a happy, tough young girl, but happy, not like a heel type of thing.
She's a happy, tough young girl. Do you think she portrays that very well so far on the main roster?
She did on NXT, and I think she did the first time I saw her on Monday Night Raw. But tonight, like I said, I just didn't feel they were comfortable with each other.
Gotcha. All right. Dez, $4.99. Mr. Apter, you're a legend. Thank you for your contribution to pro wrestling all these years. Dr. Chris, you're a legend in the making. God bless you.
Well, thank you. Lou Albano used to say, I'm a legend in my own mind. Very nice. So I take that as well. But thank you, Des Morris. I really appreciate you saying that.
This right here. This right here is the type of energy that we need on the show, man. Like this comment from Des Morris. It's okay to agree. It's okay to disagree. It's okay. Yeah. But the chats like this shows that there's grown-ups that still exist in the pro wrestling business.
Yeah, and hopefully none of them eat pizza and sausage.
Yeah, at least they go well together.
God, that's bothering me.
Yeah. Don't even say his name. I don't even say troll. Like
that's not his name.
There's no need to put him over. Like you put the comment over, you address it. But Bill, come on, man.
I'm going to call you your lasagna and pepperoni.
Let me give you your flowers, Bill. Bill, listen, man. Look.
No.
Bill Apter. Hold on a second. Let me say this. You've been in the business for 50 years.
150 years. I shot Abraham Lincoln's first.
There you go. Our first match. Catch as catch can. Abraham Lincoln. Right. You are a legendary journalist, photographer.
Well, thank you.
You are a legend in the making. I am blessed to know you very well and be a good friend. Likewise. A brother from another mother. You are a staple Hall of Famer. Why in the heck does this troll nobody have any type of influence to how you feel about it?
Because that is my favorite topping on pizza. That's why it's insulting.
Well, he's not even doing it well. He's not even representing pizza and sausage well. So get him out of here.
I'm a New Yorker. It's sausage.
There you go. Pizza and sausage.
Anyway, back to the show.
David Duffett. I got to know Ed Crazy Sailor White stories, Bill.
Sailor White? You talking about the Moondog? Sailor White? I'm not sure if we're talking about the same guy. I got to know Ed Crazy. I don't know if that's the same guy.
No, I don't know.
If it was the guy with the Moondogs, I didn't know him really well. So, David, if you could clear that up, that would be great.
There you go. We got Michael Pasolano, 49. Bill will recall it didn't happen until it airs on TV. If the belt changed at a taping,
right,
the loser would still carry it at a house show until it aired.
Yes, that was pre-internet.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
We would have to be very careful in the magazines about when we were going to report something, because if the magazine was going on deadline and they weren't going to show a title change for 3 weeks, a promoter might call us and say, don't run that. We would, unfortunately, we did it several times and we got the wrath of the promoters. But yeah, usually, let's say if a title changed hands in Albany and the next night that guy was at Madison Square Garden, he still had that title. So it was was officially made that Willie Gilsenberg, the president of the WWF, would tell me that the title change isn't official, even though it happened at the match, until it's shown on television.
Nice. There you go. There you go, ladies.
I love these kind of questions.
Indeed. Indeed. You know why?
Because
you're a legend.
Oh, because I love talking about that stuff.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's go through Raw. We have Sami Zayn cutting an in-ring promo interrupted by Chad Gable with Alpha Academy. This leads to Chad Gable defeating Sami Zayn, leading into King and Queen of the Ring this weekend. Is this weekend?
Yes, yeah, in Jeddah.
And so, what do you think? What do you think, Sam? What do you think about this whole?
All right, here's what I think. Let me give you the download.
Let me talk to you.
I think the Chad Gable thing, I love what they're doing with him. However, I would not have put him in a match tonight against Sami Zayn because it takes some of the luster away from the upcoming PLE. Maxine wouldn't help. Tozawa wouldn't help. And we didn't think that Otis was going to help. But he did. And he felt badly about it. But so Sami Zayn loses with interference. And they did not say it was a non-title match, by the way, if I remember correctly. They used to say this is a non-title match.
Yeah.
And you expected the champion to lose anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said at the beginning of this sentence 30 seconds ago, it takes a little of the luster out. And I thought Bronson Reed was going to run in there. I'm glad he didn't. But the fans love Otis. They loved him a long time ago when he won the what was it? The not King of the Ring, the
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Money in the Bank match. And I think they should have just kept him a babyface. They love him.
Yeah. I agree with you there, Bill. I think that I like the contrast. It helps Chad Gable. It stands him out from the group. I like it. I think the payoff is Otis versus Chad Gable. At least you're giving me some story. It's not amazing, but at least it's, I'm a story guy, man.
It's compelling. You want to see it.
I want more. Like if you give me a little bit of something that it wants more, I'm like, I'm for that. That's more than just throwing matches for 3 hours. I'm like, come on, I don't want to see that. Right. And so just give me something. And so this is something. It's not a lot of thing, but it's something. And so I think the payoff will be Otis and Chad Gable. Otis will be cheered. Don't really see more from Otis after that, but at least there's something.
See, I think they will be. I think that Otis is going to morph into a higher baby face spot. There, they want to see him.
They tried that.
I know, but somebody dropped the ball.
Yeah, twice. I mean, it's been a couple of times.
Chris. They ended it too quickly. There's still time to revive it.
No, I don't think they did. Well, the Mandy Rose thing was cool,
right?
Like that was really that was something that really gave him opportunity to really hone his character. We saw a really, really cool side, a story arc type of deal. It's hard to, I think that was like his peak moment as far as character wise.
Yeah.
Again, if you're not giving me a story, like what does it mean if you're a babyface? So what? If you're not giving me a story,
you know what his role should be?
What's that?
His role should be, and it's not going to happen. It can happen. He would have been a marvelous King of the Ring. Just the crown, the cape, the shtick that they could have done with that.
Interesting. I don't know how that would have went down, but hey, that would have.
I would have loved to have seen it. That would be entertaining to me.
So if he would have won the King of the Ring, then how would you book him?
Just against anybody defending, even though they don't defend the King of the Ring thing. Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis make a deal with each other that the King of the Ring crown will be up at all times, and then
so it's defended. It's the crown is defended. Wow, that's a new concept.
Yeah, and the cape.
Oh, the cape is defended too.
And then you have somebody rip the cape, and Otis cries. There's a lot you can do with this.
He's crying, Otis. Yikes! Yeah. Whoa. So what's that?
It's not going to happen, so he can't.
No, yes, he's not a part of it. But I do see something happening, at least temporarily, here with the Chad Gable thing, which
I hope so.
for.
I hope so.
But
I like
I totally agree with you when it comes to booking the match. I don't think the match should have been booked. I don't think it doesn't make sense to me whatsoever that the champion lost at the go home show before the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
That just to me, what are you doing? What are you doing, man?
Right. Yeah. This is the match that they want people to buy a pay-per-view to see.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
It defies that old booking thing is make them want to see it.
That's right. That's
and
right.
Now Bronson Reed is my predictions for that will be coming out in the Apter newsletter on Sportskeeda on Wednesday. My prediction is that Bronson Reed will pin Chad Gable.
Okay, I'm picking over here.
What are you picking over?
Oh, man, no, don't look at the comments. Sorry, man. People.
We got more pizza and sausage coming here.
Yeah, no, quit saying his name, man. He shouldn't be over that much. People talking about you, man. That sucks. Come on now. This guy's Bill Apter. Are you kidding? It's Bill Apter.
I'm not Vince Russo.
Don't worry. Me and Vince are great friends, but this is the legend. This is the legend here, man. Vince is a legend too, but this guy, I deleted the comments, so you won't even. I'm not even going to give you the time of day to look at it. All right, so let's get to AO Sky video promo. We get Alpha Academy backstage interview, detoured by Chaos and the camera going to Cruz del Toro, I believe, from LWO, nursing an injured hand. Then we get Bron Breakker and Kale Dixon. What do you think about the Bron Breakker debut on the main roster on Raw, at least?
If Bron Breakker is Goldberg, if Goldberg and Lesnar had a baby, that's who that would be.
If Goldberg and Lesnar had a baby.
He's a combination of both of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. If they got married and had a kid, that's who it would be. Yeah. Even though he's Rick Steiner's son.
Yes, indeed.
I like what they did with him, but
interesting.
Right. I like what they did with him, but the payoff should have been at the end that he's getting into the King of the Ring tournament because that's why he's doing this. But if I remember correctly, that didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. There's no payoff.
He just pulled off that prelim guy.
Yeah.
He injured Ricochet, who's still going nowhere.
Yes, indeed. We'll get to that. Yeah, he's just mad. Like I went in the King of the Ring, therefore I'm mad. Okay, well.
I can understand that because Dragunov is in King of the Ring. He just got there. So did Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
So, what gives?
Yeah. But what has King of the Ring really meant? Minus a few times over the past 40 years, though.
Well, but the way they're playing it, this is important enough to Bron Breakker to go crazy that he's not in this thing.
Yeah, that's the why it's just weak to me. Like the King of the Ring is meaningless. It's been meaningless, and outside of Booker T, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Steve Austin. What is?
But I never liked it. When the first time I saw the classic wrestler Harley Race put on a crown and a cape, I was like, please don't do this, guys.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Definitely with you there, man. All right. Let's see here. We got some, man, continue to have these amazing. There you go.
There he is.
In the building. $10. Speaking of kayfabe, imagine an unscripted episode with Mr. Bill Apter, Dr. Chris, and Vince Russo with special guest Vince McMahon.
Unquestionably.
Is this impossible? And what is one question that you would ask Vince McMahon?
What would you ask him, Chris?
I would ask him, there's a lot of things I would ask him, actually.
Well, what's the first, if you had only one question?
If I had only one question, I would say, tell me about your childhood. And that would, as a therapist, that's what I would ask him.
He'd go for hours because he never met his father until he was older. So I would probably ask him how did he feel putting, and I'm sure I know his answer, putting all these territorial companies out of business for his own, to start his own business, and just not caring about putting other people out of business, which he didn't really care.
Oh, really interesting. Yeah. All right, we got David Duffett, $2. Yes, the Moondog ran as a great indie in Newfoundland.
Yeah, I didn't know him all that white, Dave. All that white. I didn't know him all that well, David. I met him when he came to New York as one of the Moondogs for a while. Nice guy. Drank a lot of beer.
A lot of beer.
Yeah.
One beer.
But
what?
They all did back then.
What?
Beer.
Lyra Valkyria defeating Io Sky. We got awesome truth. Yeah, we got awesome truth backstage with New Catch Republic. We also got a backstage interview with Ilya Dragunov.
Well, is that when Liv Morgan hit Lyra backstage?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead.
Ilya Dragunov interrupted by Ricochet, Ron Spears Ricochet.
And that was a hell of a spear, by the way. This Bron, they got to be careful with him. I think he may not know his own strength. That looked like a shoot to me. Really, I thought he was going to go through the concrete wall. He's a scary guy, and he's got that Scott and Rick Steiner little loose screw, so to say. Yeah. You never knew what you were going to get with them personally. I had a lot of run-ins. They were both friends of mine. They still are. But sometimes I thought they were going to kill me.
Wow.
And I think the son is just like that.
I met Scott with you last year.
We did an interview with him
before that. But
but he had very short fuse.
Very nice.
And I think Bron Breakker's got a very short fuse too.
I think Scott Steiner respects people who look like they should be in the business. And as far as just looks wise, he was very respectful to me. You were there. He was very respectful to me.
He wasn't always like that.
He wasn't short or nothing, man. I mean, I've seen him be short with a lot of interviewers, but he was very respectful to me, man.
I go a long way back with him.
Yeah,
so
indeed. All right, so let's go with empty arena promo by Gunther to set up their match tonight.
Interesting. The way he was just walking down the steps, and he wasn't sure which camera was catching him. I like what the new producer is doing with all the camera angles, but I thought that shot was a little too wide. The interview was, tonight this is all going to be full with all these people and everything, but I don't know, it was too far away from me.
I just don't think that was really cut for a heel of Gunther.
Right. For Gunther.
Yeah. If it was,
and not dressed like that.
And that too. The appearance, the dress, he just felt like a normal guy. He just felt like an everyday guy. And that just kind of takes away the mystique of Gunther. It just didn't click with me.
Well, that's TKO.
If it was a Sami Zayn type of thing, like that would work for me because he's a baby face kind of prepping himself to get ready for tonight. That would make sense.
But I'm telling you, the TKO, because that's the way a UFC guy would have been dressed.
Okay. We have Judgment Day with Carlito backstage segment. Then we have Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark with the returning Sonya Deville, Bill.
Yeah. She looked good. Good. I didn't see a lot of I want to see more of this in that segment. It was just it was a passing segment.
Yeah, indeed. Good way to bring back Sonya Deville after 9 months.
It just, like I said, it just kind of passed me by while I was watching it.
So it probably
didn't have any impact to me.
Yeah. So kind of a flatlined return.
Kind of a filler.
Which being gone 9 months, if they want to make you, relevant and missed,
you got to run in and do something.
Run in or something like that. Or
This
at least
was just a filler.
and then she got disregarded. Like she wanted to talk to Shayna Baszler, and she was like, no. And then she just walked away. That's a weird way for a 9-month return. We get to Awesome Truth and Judgment Day. Now this segment was funny to me. The talking to this Andre the Giant segment.
Oh yeah, but there was no payoff.
Braun Strowman was the payoff.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
that he was talking about.
That's how good that was.
Yeah.
Listen, the guy's right behind me here. See where my thumb is?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Andre there. So I talk to Andre every night here. So that's where R-Truth got that from.
Oh, that's where he got it.
I love the whole R-Truth thing.
Yeah.
I love everything he does.
Yeah, he's money.
But I mean, it was okay. It was nothing. Didn't find anything special in that whole match.
We get Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, Liv Morgan confronts Valkyria and then punches her. That's the segment we get that.
That's what I saw. So yeah, this Becky's girl. So that's to heat up a little bit more for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Morgan is a heel, man. What do you think so far?
I like it. I find her very, she's like a good girl gone bad, legally blonde.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like it. I have no issue with her being a heel. I think, and again, one of my predictions here is that it's time for Liv to live, and I think she's going to take the title. They need to put it on a heel for a little while and maybe milk that until SummerSlam.
Wouldn't surprise me if that happened, because probably we'll get Liv and Rhea as the revenge tour, so to speak.
Yeah.
She just hasn't connected with me that much as a heel. I think
she has with me.
I think she's doing okay, but just kind of. I mean, you can tell by the fans too.
It's too long. It's going too long. The feud is carrying on too long before the match payoff.
The fans hasn't connected with her very much either. As far as when she cuts her promos, they're just kind of like, like her promos are still a bit dry, and like she doesn't do a really good job healing it up. She doesn't draw heat very well.
No, she doesn't. I've just kind of hooked onto her. I don't know why. I kind of like this heel side, but I think when you drag out a feud for 3 or 4 weeks to lead to a pay-per-view, it's too long already.
What do you think the length of the feud should be before pay-per-view?
2 to 3 weeks before a pay-per-view.
So you changing feuds every so what do you mean? So the feud should only last 2 to 3 weeks before pay-per-view?
I think it could start 3 to 4 weeks before a pay-per-view, because you're only seeing it once a week. So it's 3 weeks and then the pay-per-view.
Oh,
so you have good intensity to build it up.
Feuds used to be months, man. That's where the
story I know they were, but it doesn't always work. It depends what the talent is. If it's Cody and Roman Reigns, that's perfect.
That's the issue. To me, that's where the issue is, man. There's the stories suck. And that's the reason why, like, when they're doing these 2 to 3
why don't you
week,
say what you really feel?
they do. I mean, when they're doing these 2 to 3 week feuds and then changing it to another thing, just like you're not giving us enough time to sink our teeth in a story.
I agree.
You're just giving us a match in 2 to 3 weeks, and we're like, okay, we're like on page 3, and that's the end of the book. Like, what? Like, that's kind of weird to me.
I agree. But I'll go back to saying that I think she's okay as a heel.
Yeah, good for you. Good stuff. If it works for you, it works for us, Bill. We got locker room segment, Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed, Otis. What do you think about this?
That was not bad at all. I found that the Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn thing was classy. There was no physical reaction. It was threatening to Sami Zayn. I felt he felt Bronson Reed made him feel threatened. I thought that was good. I liked the Otis part because you could hear the fans from the arena chanting Otis when Sammy was saying, be yourself, let the people, and you could hear the fans. So it instilled that, you need to turn babyface.
I think the second was fine. I think they should have done it without Sammy losing. The same segment could have been done without Sammy being the one who lost.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the Alpha Gable could have beaten. There's tons of baby faces just sitting in catering right now. You could have done the whole thing with a lower level baby face on the card right now. Otis turns on whoever baby face is on there. I mean, I think Apollo Crews is back there, like they just sitting around, and everybody who's on that speed thing. There's tons of people back there. So what could?
But they're enjoying the buffet.
Yeah, bring them out here, man. They don't get paid to enjoy the buffet the whole night. Come out here.
Stop eating that. Get out to the ring.
Yeah, that's right. Do some work. And so basically what could have happened was Sami Zayn could have talked to Otis and like, man, what are you doing, man? Like, so trying to talk, some sense into Otis. That could have happened without Sammy taking the loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
We get Becky Lynch. We're getting multiple Becky Lynch appearances before she comes out and cuts her promo. Do you think that diluted her presence coming out?
No, they want to make that match bigger than it actually might be to a lot of people.
Yeah, fans. In the beginning, in the intro, they get into Becky Lynch, but her promos tend to drag, man, and people just starts to kind of fade away as far as
he's doing the classic old go in the ring and yell.
Okay.
Hello, I'm here. Are you afraid to come out? It's like it's the classic wrestling promo.
It's not working. It's not working these days.
No,
not so much. Interrupted by Liv Morgan. She tries to draw heat, but I know Liv Morgan's your gal, man, but I don't think she did a really good job drawing heat.
No, tonight was not.
No. We get backstage, we get New Day, we get Xavier cleared, and we have another moment with Karrion Kross kind of sowing some seeds in the New Day. Last week it was Kofi. This week it was Xavier. Where does this develop, Bill?
I don't know because I knew Karrion Kross in the Indies, and I picked him to be a superstar, but they haven't let him reach his potential. So I don't know where this is going. And New Day rocks, but it's just not sticking anymore. They need to do something new with them, with different opponents, and I don't know. It's kind of like they need to be repackaged.
I just think if you had a good story with them, the thing is with New Day, they've been around for so long. They're one of the longest tenured tag teams in WWE history, man. If you really think about it, as far as consistent full-time competitors, they've had heel runs, face runs, heel runs, face runs. Long, before the Usos, they were longest tag team champions. I just think that what we see in the New Day is what we see with a lot of people who are in that non-title tier, but been there for a while. Like you're feeling that with Sheamus, you're feeling that with Natalya. They've just been there for a while, and there's no story attached to them. You just feel like, what's next?
So what they would do?
Wrestled everybody.
What a promoter would have done at this point?
What's
promoter
that?
Would have sent them to another territory.
Yeah.
Back when they had the territories, they'd be gone for a year, and then they'd come back fresh. But you can't do that anymore. You can't. Not going to send them to AEW.
That's true. Yeah, maybe you sent them. Well, they tried. They sent them to NXT for a second, and they were NXT Tag Team Champions. I think that was a good.
It's not a bad idea, but it's just not the level that some of these wrestlers want to be at.
Yeah. And even if they turn heel, I mean, like,
it's not going to change anything.
I agree.
It's the same guys.
I'm with you there, man. I'm with you. I just
same guys.
What? Okay, they're turning heel. Okay, what? Okay, I mean they've done that several times.
When are they going to turn good again?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah. We get Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark defeating Maxine Dupree. and Ivy Now, Katana Carter, and
another pass through match.
Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, right?
They're good. They're good.
You like them? We like team. We call them Team Whoop Whoop here over at League.
I do like them. There's just there's too much acrobatics in there. I hate when somebody knocks somebody down and they're laying there and they're out, and then someone's doing flips and cartwheels in the ring and showing off. Yeah. Go pin them.
Yeah. And when Kyrie's saying, I'm a characters matter to me, man. Like this is choreographed, predetermined stage competition with men in tights. All right. I don't care about any of that. I care about I care about the characters. I care about the stories. I care about the just the kayfabe of it all, as you would proper.
There goes that word again. But no,
the proper of it. No, the Bill Apter definition of it. All right. So all that matters to me. All right. I don't really care about someone eliciting some cheers if you're a heel. Kairi Sane, she was trying to get the crowd to get behind her as she was about to do a move. And I'm like, to me, someone needs to be backstage telling her not to do that, because that sucks away the purpose of drawing heat. Everybody wants to be liked, man. In professional wrestling, I don't like that.
People see me going to my mouth. It's the tic tacs.
Yes, it's the tic tacs. Everybody wants to be liked, man, and that kills professional wrestling. That everybody wants to be liked. That's like saying Darth Vader wants to be a babyface. So
I don't know about that. Someone like Chad Gable wants to be hated at this point.
See, now there's exceptions.
He'll go back to the dressing room and he'll go like, man, they booed the hell out of me. Wasn't that great?
But that's the exception to the rule nowadays, Bill. Like, you have probably less than a handful of people who do that now. Like, Drew McIntyre,
he's one of those.
You have Drew, which is good. You have Chad, but just wrestling as a whole, like, you're having people trying to get cheers with people who are supposed to be heels, man. Mm-hmm. If you're a heel, you need to go out there every single night and say, I want to be sure that I'm doing my job properly and people hate me. Like, that's what I'm clocking in for. Yeah. Like, if someone clocks in and say, I'm a assistant manager, or I'm an inventory specialist, or I'm a data entry, I'm not doing inventory.
Do your job.
Do your job, Bill. Like, I'm not going to inventory if I'm supposed to be a sales clerk. Like, that's not my job. My job is to be a heel. So therefore, do your job. And so many people are stepping in other ways and want to be in everybody else's job description. No, don't do that. That's not your job. Do your job. That's the reason why I love. There was when AJ. He says that he's open to go against The Rock.
Yeah.
But he said that he only will do it if The Rock was a babyface. Mm-hmm. And he said that his mission, if he were to go against The Rock, would be to be the biggest heel that he's ever been. He said that he wants to draw heat worse than Dominic Mysterio. And that's when I saw that, I'm like, see, that guy gets it. He still understands the business and respects.
He's a young veteran.
He respects it enough to maintain that dynamic of baby faces.
I agree with you 100%.
I'm with them there. Rollin, $5.
Hey, Rollin.
Speaking of McMahon ending the territories, did you two prefer territories from 1980 to 2010, or did you prefer sports entertainment? Is sports entertainment still necessary? What do you think? What do you think, Bill?
I like 80s to 210. I loved, absolutely loved, and you got to either get with it or turn it off. So I'm fine with sports entertainment too. But you know what? It's a variety show. It's just like the old variety shows. They had acts on there that you loved. They had acts on there that you didn't want to watch. That's what this sports entertainment is. That's simple, Rowan.
Yeah, I started watching wrestling in the mid '80s, and there was still a lot of sports entertainment. Like, there was still an entertainment factor within pro wrestling. It was more
Mhm.
like pro wrestling entertainment. Like
Yeah.
characters mattered. That was still a big thing. Sting came out as a flat haired
Surfer.
surfer guy. You know what I mean? And so that was a character.
Mhm.
Ric Flair came out as some limousine riding. Above everyone else, just kind of rarefied air, arrogant, cocky, you know, uh, brass, just type of character, brash character. And so all of them were characters. So it was still entertainment in many aspects. And so I do
Yeah.
think that pro wrestling had a really big sports entertainment factor.
Absolutely. Roland, thank you very much for that question.
Indeed, as always, Roland. Matt Lindquist pointed out this is a new donor super chatter. Thank you for your contribution. Prayers for those that are suffering with mental health, those that are bullied online in schools, within family homes. Shout out to Sammy Touche. Pray for those that are hurting, to seek others. God bless. Bill Apter. Yeah,
Thank you very much. I love
totally,
that you're.
totally.
I love that you've. And in terms of people that are suffering with mental health, I think a lot of you know that during the day, my day gig, I work for a company called Access Services for the past 15 years, helping people with disabilities to find employment, and many of them suffer from mental illness and want to work full time. And that's one of the things I've been doing for a long time. So thank you for putting me in that
Indeed.
group.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
bless you too.
Indeed. We get backstage interview Ludwig Kaiser. I guess we got a Kaiser versus Sheamus feud coming up.
Yeah, and I think Kaiser against Gunther will happen eventually too. Just have a feeling.
I'm just trying to figure out how that makes sense with both of them being.
It doesn't.
Losing heels.
It doesn't, but they got to find the road to get to it.
Who's going to be the babyface?
Ludwig.
Kaiser is going to be the babyface? Really?
Yeah, I think the fans will. I think
interesting.
It depends how they do it. It depends how they turn. They're not going to. Gunther is a fabulous heel. Ludwig is also a fabulous heel, but I think he's got something that will elicit sympathy from the fans.
All right, we shall see. We get a backstage interview with Drew McIntyre. This is the only appearance we get from Drew.
Yeah, so why is he there with a jacket, half naked? Why don't you wear a shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a naked guy coming in here to talk to you.
Yeah, I knew I didn't have a spot. I know I'm not clear to wrestle. I just wear a kilt and and a jacket.
I bet you he shows up in Saudi Arabia. I bet you he'll be there. I don't know doing what, but
he'll show up somehow, huh?
Yeah, he'll cause trouble there.
Well, we got the main with Gunther and Jey Uso. A hard shut off. We got Jey Uso with being one of the most just organically pushed popular guys, gets choked out by Gunther at the end.
Not just choked out.
Gunther was dominating the match most of it, and he got choked out at the end.
Yeah, the whole, this almost is on the heels of Jay against Jimmy, where the two brothers didn't do much against each other.
Yeah,
Jay wasn't the Jay tonight.
Yep.
Maybe it's got something to do with this alleged thing that he might be part of the new Wyatt thing. I don't know. But he wasn't. He didn't have that. There was something missing with his physical energy tonight.
Yeah.
And did you notice with about 3 minutes left, that's when they went for that tap out, with the referee stopping it. And of course, Jey Uso can say, I didn't give up. The referee stopped it. I didn't want them to do that. But he just seemed very weak tonight.
Yeah, it was something that was missing. For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just a weird. Now the psychology in the beginning, I liked because it usually, you know, old school psychology when it comes to matches is the heel gets a lot of the you know, the upper hand in the match, and then the baby comes back, you know, with the chase during the match. When the payoff is usually the baby winning. But man, it was just Gunther was just smash the whole time, and then chokes him out.
You know what they could have done?
What's that?
What they could have done, and this is what I expected, was as Jay was just going through the entrance, Bron Breakker spears him, and Braun goes in against Gunther. There's his way into King of the Ring.
And then you have Braun beat Gunther?
I don't know. I maybe it's a double disqualification. I don't know, something. But the two of them against each other, I think, would have gotten fans off that couch and going like, "Oh, this is great! You got two of the toughest guys in the world here, slapping it out with each other."
I think you should build that a little bit more.
I want to see that.
Give us a build. Give us a build. I mean, these. I can't call it.
It could have been a quick build.
Yeah, there's no quick build, man.
There used to be.
The issue I see. It's just these microwave mentality matchmaking, man. It just bugs me.
They're just going to the pay-per-view. That's all this is. They're going to the PLE.
I think one of the biggest reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons why wrestling is where it is now is because there's just these microwave matchmaking, man. Just boom, boom, boom. Just give us some oven moments, man. Like let it cook, let it simmer, let it simmer, baby. Come on, baby. Let it simmer. So yeah, I mean, we shall see what happens this week. We have the King and Queen of the Ring, and of course, Bill Apter.
We got SmackDown on Friday to see.
We'll have Orton versus Sammartino.
That will be from Jeddah as well.
It will. I imagine Orton beats Tamatanga in some way, and we have Orton and Gunther in the finals.
I probably.
Yeah, that would just make sense.
Like I said, I was with Randy Orton this weekend, and I told him that this particular comeback of his, he looks better than he ever has. He's just that killer attitude that he's had. He's incredible. I love watching him work.
And we will see him compete on SmackDown. We may see him compete at the Jeddah.
Too many Tic Tacs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right, man. King and Queen of the Ring coming up. We got Bill Apter's predictions of that on what edition of we got
Wednesday,
right?
Go to Sportskeeda /newsletter, subscribe to the daily newsletter, and every Wednesday is the Wonderful Willie Bill Apter special, if you will. If you like the old magazines that I worked for, I try and format it. We have rankings. We have a match, independent match of the week. We have a wrestler of the week. It's just, you'll love it.
Very nice. Very nice. SK Nation, minus a few, useless, mindless trolls. Love the energy of the of the comments. Wonderful, wonderful. All the energy that you brought this week, as you bring every week. Legion Raw is also an awesome show every single week. Thank you for all the super chats. All these people. You know what helps us fight against those algorithms? When you like, share, subscribe, and when you comment on the video. So all that positive energy that you brought here tonight, bring it to the comment section on the videos. And if you see a troll or two, police them like you did tonight and get them out of here.
Yeah, and by the way, catch us. Chris and I are together, other than tomorrow night. We are together every week on Unscripted at 11 p.m. every Tuesday night Eastern time.
Yep. If you haven't watched Unscripted, you're missing out. It's just a free-for-all. Bill and I just talk about some buzzing topics, take some questions from the chat, and we just have a good time chatting about the all things hot and buzzing as much as we possibly can in the time frame.
And sometimes some of the cool, cold things are not buzzing that we wish were.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Thank you, Dr. Chris and Vince Russo, for letting me sit in your seat
Always
this
a
week,
pleasure,
bro.
man.
I really
I will,
enjoyed it.
I will see you in 8 days, my friend. And this guy, until then, this guy right here is Bill Apter. I am Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Have a good night, buddy.
See you at the matches.
So long.